A reading from the book of Judges. Today is July 31st. Our reading from Judges is chapter 1. After the death of Joshua, the Israelites inquired of the Lord, "Which of us shall be the first to go up against the Canaanites and attack them?" The Lord replied, "Let the tribe of Judah go up. I now deliver the land into their hands." Judah then said to their brother tribe Simeon, "Come up with us to our allotted territory, and let us attack the Canaanites, and then we will go with you to your allotted territory." So Simeon joined them. When Judah advanced, the Lord delivered the Canaanites and the Perizzites into their hands, and they defeated 10,000 of them at Bezek. At Bezek they encountered Adonai-Bezek, engaged him in battle, and defeated the Canaanites and the Perizzites. Adonai-Bezek fled, but they pursued him and captured him, and they cut off his thumbs and his big toes. And Adonai-Bezek said, 70 kings with thumbs and big toes cut off used to pick up scraps under my table, as I have done, so God has requited me. They brought him to Jerusalem, and he died there. The Judites attacked Jerusalem and captured it. They put it to the sword and set the city on fire. After that, the Judites went down to attack the Canaanites, who inhabited the hill country, the Negeb and the Shephelah. The Judites marched against the Canaanites who dwelt in Hebron, and they defeated Sheshai, Ahiman, and Talmai. The names of Hebron was formerly Kirath Arba. From there they marched against the inhabitants of Debir. The name of Debir was formerly Kirath Sepher. And Caleb announced, "I will give my daughter Achsah in marriage to the man who attacks and captures Kirath Sepher." His younger kinsman, Othniel of the Kenzanite, captured it, and Caleb gave him his daughter Achsah in marriage. When she came to him, she induced him and asked her father for some property. She dismounted from her donkey, and Caleb asked her, "What is the matter?" She replied, "Give me a present, for you have given me away as Negeb land. Give me spring of water." And Caleb gave her Upper and Lower Guluth. The descendants of the Kenite, the father-in-law of Moses, went up with the Judites from the city of palms to the wilderness of Judah, and they went and settled among the people in the Negeb of Ared. And Judah with its brother tribe Simeon went on and defeated the Canaanites who dwelt in Zephath. They proscribed it, and so the town was named Hormah. And Judah captured it, Gaza and its territory, Ashkelon and its territory, and Ekron and its territory. The Lord was with Judah, so that they took possession of the hill country, but they were not able to dispossess the inhabitants of the plain, for they had iron chariots. They gave Hebron to Caleb, as Moses had promised, and he drove the 3 Anakites out of there. The Benjaminites did not dispossess the Jebusites, inhabitants of Jerusalem, so the Jebusites have dwelt with the Benjaminites in Jerusalem to this day. The house of Joseph, for their part, advanced against Bethel, and the Lord was with them. While the house of Joseph were scouting at Bethel, the name of the town was formerly Luz, the patrols saw a man leaving the town. They said to him, "Just show us how to get into the town, and we will treat you kindly." He showed them how to get into the town. They put the town to the sword, but they let the man and all his relatives go free. The man went to the Hittite country. He founded a city and named it Luz, and that has been its name to the day. Manasseh did not dispossess the inhabitants of Beth Shean and its dependencies, or of Tanakh and its dependencies, or of the inhabitants of Dor and its dependencies, or of the inhabitants of Ibleam and its dependencies, or the inhabitants of Megiddo and its dependencies. The Canaanites persisted in dwelling in this region, and when Israel gained the upper hand, they subjected the Canaanites to forced labor, but they did not dispossess them. Nor did Ephraim dispossess the Canaanites who inhabited Gezer, so the Canaanites dwelt in their midst at Gezer. Zebulun did not dispossess the inhabitants of Kitron or the inhabitants of Nahalal, so the Canaanites dwelt in their midst, but they were subjected to forced labor. Asher did not dispossess the inhabitants of Akko or the inhabitants of Sidon, Alab, Achzib, Helba, Aphik, and Rehob. So the Asherites dwelt in the midst of the Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land, for they did not dispossess them. Naphtali did not dispossess the inhabitants of Beth Shemesh or the inhabitants of Beth Anath, but they settled in the midst of the Canaanite inhabitants of the land, and the inhabitants of Beth Shemesh and Bethanath had to perform forced labor for them. The Amorites pressed the Danites into the hill country. They would not let them come down to the plain. The Amorites also persisted in dwelling in Harhiris, in Ajalon, in Shalbim. But the hand of the house of Joseph bore heavily on them, and they had to perform forced labor. The territory of the Amorites extended from the ascent of Akrabim, from Selah onward.